going on, you guys? I'm your host, Stacey Cole Morgan, and you are listening to the MorganMan Sports Podcast here on Spotify, Google Podcasts, GoodPod HQ, or wherever you find your preferred podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about the Miami Heretics Major 2 online qualifiers week 1, what action to expect this weekend, what matches to look forward to, CDL point standings headed into week 1 online qualifiers for the Major 2, and so much more. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the Falcons hiring DJ Williams as an assistant quarterback's coach. So without any further delay, let's go to get straight into today's action.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Welcome to the MorganMan Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Stacey Cole Morgan. Here on the MorganMan Sports Podcast, we talk Atlanta Falcons news, pre-game predictions, and all other news surrounding the Atlanta Falcons.
Touchdown, Atlanta!
Also on the podcast, we talk Call of Duty League, esports, covering Roster Mania, major predictions, COD champs, player trades, and much more to get you ready for every single CDL weekend.
Scuff goes through, and Scuff stands, wins the one-on-one, and Optic with the reverse sweep.
If that sounds good with you, put on your Falcons jersey, grab your gaming headset, and let's get this show started. All right, guys, so we got the Major 2 online qualifiers happening this weekend. This is week 1 of the Major 2 tournament online qualifiers for the home series Miami Heretics. That will be at a later date. So for this weekend right here, Friday, February 16th, you got the Miami Heretics taking on the Major 1 champs, the Toronto Ultra. Friday, February 16th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. You got the Carolina Royal Ravens taking on the New York Subliners. Definitely that's going to be an interesting one right there because the Ravens did, in fact, eliminate the New York Subliners during the tournament for the Major 1. Saturday, February 17th, you got the Boston Breach taking on the Royal Ravens. So the Ravens will finish out and open up Friday and Saturday here. Then after that, the Atlanta FaZe will take on the Miami Heretics for the first time this season, going into the week 1 online qualifiers from the Major 2 tournaments. And finally, for Saturday, February 17th, you got the New York Subliners taking on the Seattle Surge. Then Sunday, February 18th, you got the LAG squad taking on the Vegas Legion. And then Sunday, February 18th, also you got the Toronto Ultra taking on the Minnesota Rocker. And then finally, Sunday, February 18th, you got the Los Angeles Thieves taking on Optic Texas. Now this right here, guys, was definitely a rivalry back, last year and 2 years ago. But now it's just kind of lopsided where you know who's going to win this series, honestly. And that's going to be Optic Texas. But the key matchups right here, ladies and gentlemen, to look at is definitely the Miami Heretics taking on the Atlanta FaZe. That right there determines a lot of point standings right here because Miami Heretics definitely do need to win a lot of matches to get back up in that top 4 like they were at this time around during that Major 1 online qualifiers. So definitely at FaZe versus Miami Heretics is a match to look out forward to. But I am going to say that the Atlanta FaZe will win this one in a 3-1 fashion. They definitely, in my personal opinion, went back to the drawing board and fixed a lot of problems that caused them to lose against the Toronto Ultra in that Major 1 championship round. The second matchup to look forward to, guys, is the Toronto Ultra. Are they going to keep the momentum going against the Miami Heretics to kick off the online qualifiers week 1? That's going to be the key matchup right there to look forward to. Is Toronto Ultra going to keep that momentum, or are they going to slack off just a little bit to make fans start concerned? Like, okay, now, you won the Major 1. Now let's keep going, but you're worrying us. So that's going to be the second matchup right there. And then finally for the third one right here, guys, I'm looking at the Los Angeles Thieves right here taking on Optic Texas. Yes, this is a rivalry game. And do I think that LA Thieves is going to bring their best? Absolutely. Because, again, Goes back to the rivalry that Optic and them has had for the past year or 2.5 years now. So that is your top 3 matches that to look forward to this weekend right here for the Week 1 Major 2 online qualifiers. Now for your regular season CDL point standings right here, ladies and gentlemen, the Toronto Ultra do sit at a comfortable 160 CDL points with a map win-loss ratio of 10-1. The Atlanta Face is not far behind at 145 CDL points, sitting at 10-2. So these are the 2 squads that I think personally are going to be pretty much battling back and forth all season long during the regular season and during the championship rounds at these majors. And then a little bit far behind, but Optic Texas is sitting at number 3 with 100 CDL points. Rocker at 4 with 75. NYSL sitting at 60, sitting at 5. 6 Seattle Surge sitting at 60. 7 is the Miami Heretics, which is sitting at 50 CDL points. And the Los Angeles Guerrillas sitting at 50 CDL points at the ranked number 8 spot. So definitely, if the season ended today, that would be your playoff teams moving forward. And your playoff qualification cutoff, sitting at number 9 is the Vegas Legion. 10, the Royal Ravens. Boston Breach sitting at 11. And the LA Thieves sitting at 12. And these teams has got a lot of catching up to do because the Vegas Legion, if they win out their series and the Guerrillas lose out their series, number 8 and number 9 will be switched automatically right there. Just this next 2-3 weeks right here of online qualification, that was instantly switched. And the Vegas Legion has got 2 matches, while LAG has got just 1 right now. See, 1. Well, no, Vegas Legion has actually got 3, and one of them is against the Guerrillas. So it could be this weekend that the Vegas Legion could take that number 8 spot and get in that playoff contention, which I know we're way too early in the season still, but that would be great for the Vegas Legion, and then they just got to improve for moving forward. And what better way to do it is against the Toronto Ultra, Miami Heretics, which that's all next week right there, and the Vegas Legion against LAG this Sunday. They could do it. So within these 2 weeks right here, the Legion can take that number 8 spot, but they just got to win those series really by a 3-1 fashion. They got to win it by 3-1, maybe slip into 3-2 somewhere in there like against the Guerrillas, but they just got to look dominant moving forward. So guys, tell me, do you think that the Major 2 tournament for the online qualification or just tournament in general would be better than the Major 1, where I believe the Major peak viewership hit at like 300,000 somewhere in there? Correct me if I'm wrong, please do, at MMS Stacey Morgan on Twitter. Guys, thank you so much right now for over 24,000 downloads and listens on the podcast. We are continuously growing, and it's all thanks to you guys. So definitely want to give a huge shout out to all you right here that supports the podcast. So now moving on over to the Atlanta Falcons side of things, ladies and gentlemen. This is coming from the FalconsWire.usatoday.com. Falcons add former Saints assistant to offensive coaching staff. The Atlanta Falcons have added another name to their coaching staff, hiring Saints offensive assistant DJ Williams as the team's new assistant quarterbacks coach. Rod Walker of the Times-Piacon, if I'm pronouncing this right, sorry if I'm butchering the name, / the New Orleans Advocate reported on Friday. Williams serves as an offensive assistant coach for the Saints from the 2019 through the 2023 season. The son of NFL legend Doug Williams, DJ Williams played quarterback at Grambling State from 2011 to 2014 before beginning his coaching career. The Falcons have already hired most of their coaching staff under Raheem Morris. Williams will work under offensive coordinator Zach Robinson and quarterbacks coach TJ Yates. Williams worked closely with the passers and was someone Derek Carr spoke highly on last season, wrote Saints Wire editor John Sigler. So guys, definitely this is a great move right here under Raheem Morris. From that 2019 through 2023 right there, definitely you worked with Jameis Winston Derek Carr. I forget the other one's name that plays quarterback sometimes. But still, definitely great. Jameis Winston under that system did thrive. Yes, he still had a lot of turnovers. Don't get me wrong. But he still thrived. He had a lot more touchdowns than interceptions with Saints. So you could definitely credit that right there. Maybe to DJ Williams. But still, this offense is going to look a little bit like the Rams and the Saints kind of put together in that form of sense. But hey, I like the move right here. It's definitely interesting to see what happens next in the coaching hires under Raheem Morris. Moving on over into the draft. But guys, that is all the time I have for today right here. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure to like button here on YouTube. Download on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast from. Guys, I am recording this on Saturday, February 10th, way ahead of the weekly recorded time that I'm usually accustomed to. So if anything does happen or did happen, you can check out my Twitter at MMSStacyMorgan to find all the latest updates and rumors regarding the Call of Duty League or the Atlanta Falcons from this podcast episode. But until then, guys, good morning. Catch you all later. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.